Hey you guys, and welcome back to Rooted Homeschool. If you're new here, I'm Christina and I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, ages 1, 2, 5, 10, and 13. I am so excited for today's video. Today I am sharing with you an unboxing and flip through of the Ready to Read Book 3, Ice and Snow from Gather Round Homeschool. Now, part of the reason that I'm excited about this is totally selfish. I can't wait to open this up and look at this. Sometimes I take a peek, and this time I did not. I wanted to truly give you guys my first impressions upon seeing it. If you've been around here, you know that I love Gather Round Homeschool. We have been using Gather Round Homeschool since we started homeschooling about a year ago. We started last August, and it's July 2021 right now. We started August 2020, and we started with Gather Round Homeschool. So we've done lots of the unit studies as a family, and we've also been doing the Ready to Read program with my 5-year-old this year. We've taken our time through books 1 and 2, and we are still finishing up book 2 because it's summer and we're just taking our time with it. And I decided for the very first time to order this unit in print. I usually grab the digital versions, especially our group unit studies, because it would be kind of expensive to get everyone their books in print. But for my 5-year-old, because we only need the student book and the teacher's guide, I wanted to try print for the very first time. So I'm excited not only to see print for the very first time, but to see this particular unit, Ready to Read, Book 3, Ice and Snow. So let's open it up, because I'm pumped. So while I open this, I just want to say that I do have some videos showing the Ready to Read program. So I did a do a lesson with me video a while back with the book 1, Burrows and Holes. And okay, I'm just trying to figure out how this opens. Okay. And so I'm really excited not only to continue with this program, but also to see what the book 3 brings us and Ice and Snow. Okay guys, I'm so excited. It's bubble wrap, so let's take a look at this together. These are all shrink wrapped together. Hold on one second. All right, so first we have the teacher's guide. This looks so beautiful. I can't wait to check this out and to try it. So as usual, we have a note to the teacher, information about the app. The app is really helpful for a lot of different reasons. This explains Gather Round, what the pages will consist of, things like phonics and math and art. Talks about Bible, about the mini books, about science, social studies. It talks about how long it takes, the supplies that you'll need. Is it enough? Contact information, how you can follow Rebecca on social media. It gives you the scope and sequence weekly and daily, or lesson by lesson. So then you have the table of contents, and it gives you an overview for each week. So each week it tells you what will be covered in that week. And then this is truly open and go, guys. So each lesson in the teacher's guide is 1 page if you're unfamiliar with the setup in the Ready to Read program. So it kind of tells you the things that will be covered in the student notebook. So on each of their pages, those are the things that it will cover. You'll have a short lesson. So this is all about like the North Pole and snow at the poles. There's always this section at the bottom for the Bible connection, where you are connecting the lesson to a story from the Bible. Questions, discussion questions to just kind of check for their understanding. And then over here, the only thing that's here that isn't in this lesson is the extension activity. So sometimes there will be an optional extension activity that you can do with your child as well. So it looks like you're learning about polar bears. I think I skipped one. Then there's always the review after each week that you can do with them, some optional activities, and a prayer. And then again, you have your weekly snapshot. Looks like you're learning about seals and baby animals, whales, review and overview again, more about the poles, Antarctica, leopard seals, review and snapshot again, penguins, more about penguins, review and snapshot, caribou, oxen, review and overview, narwhals, that'll be fun, orcas, review and overview again, snow petrels, walruses, review and overview, Arctic hare, snowy owl, Arctic fox, lemmings, and then in the appendix, that is the teacher's guide. Now, I'm really excited to show you the student book. One thing I'm excited is that they're bound on the top. So whether your child is right or left-handed, it will not affect them. So it is broken into 2 student books to make the books a little bit smaller. And there's always a little letter to the student from Rebecca that you can read to them. So again, you have scope and sequence, teacher's notes, so table of contents. Then this shows you their first page that they're doing work on. This shows you their first page they're doing work on, and it looks like she is learning here silent E. So that's really interesting because we've touched on that together outside of our Ready to Read program, but not yet in the program. And then it looks like there's a digraph blend friend. She's familiar with consonant blend friends from the other units we've done. Then it looks like there is a math lesson. So things like ingredients and recipes. Then long and short vowel sounds. Anything that they have to cut obviously is blank on the other side. This is learning about animals and the different regions that they live in. This is making a silent E booklet. So that's pretty cool. You can see on the back, they would add in the silent E. Then math, working with greater than and less than. So working on 3 new sight words on this particular day. So for lesson 2, day 2, so everything you've seen so far. Let me show you this page. This is also lesson 2. This is an art study. So taking a look at a piece of art and then analyzing it. And then this brings you to lesson 2. And so it looks like you're building those words. So you're writing it, finding it, and then cutting and pasting them in there. So I like that there is the hands-on cutting and pasting. Then we have sentences and sentence structure and conventions. So things like uppercase, capital letters, unscrambling the sentence. So this is really cool. This will help them figure out things like sentence diagramming or sentence structure. And that's as far as I'm going to go. So this video doesn't get super long, but I think this gives you an idea of kind of how this is set up. I will flip to the end of this book to show you a couple of things, but as far as the lessons by lessons, I think that's probably enough. So in the back, and I think I may laminate these because typically I would print these sight words on cardstock. So here we have, so the last thing in the lessons in this book are things like fact and opinion. So I think that's really interesting. So it's talking to them about critical thinking skills. And then in the appendix is where you'll find things like the daily calendar routine, some reading log stuff, So spooner bucks are kind of what this curriculum uses for teaching money. Sometimes I just use regular money for this. We don't always use that. So we may or may not use these. I actually haven't used the spooner bucks. I have like paper money that I used with her when book 2 called for it. So I'm not sure that I'll use these. I might just let her decide. Place value shapes. So that's really an interesting concept. It looks like you are using shapes to learn place value. Then you'll also find all of your sight word flashcards. And so these are a little bit thinner. Like I said, I usually print them on cardstock. So I think I'll laminate these. So there's always like room for them to trace the new words on the back. Then you have your consonant blend friends and your digraph blends and special story word for the cake. So this is interesting. The special story words are new. I kind of like that. They didn't have that in previous books. So it looks like these are bigger words that would not be considered necessarily a sight word or part of a word family. So that's a new thing with book 3. And it looks like there's lots of new words, which is really cool. And then you have your cutouts section. So cutouts that you'll need for different lessons. Life cycle cutouts, and then you just have your credits again. So I'm just going to show you where student book B picks up and leaves off, but I won't show you the whole thing. So student book B starts with lesson 17, and it's looking at letters G and C to make different sounds. So looking at some more fact and opinion, so carrying that through. And then by the time you get to the end of book 3, lesson 36, which is your last lesson, you are making a mini book. You are looking at counting by tens and hundreds. You're looking at time and place value. And then you get to your appendix, which is set up much the same way. So you have your teacher's guide, student book A, and student book B. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed that unboxing and flip through of the Gather Round Ready to Read Book 3, Ice and Snow. I'm super excited. If you saw my first grade curriculum picks video, I shared that I really want to wait until winter or right before winter, even if it's just a few weeks before winter, to start this, because I love the idea of studying the ice and snow unit when it is really cold and snowy and icy here in New York. We may jump in before that. If I just feel like that makes more sense learning wise for Gia, then of course that will be what we do. But we are also doing Explode the Code, and we are also doing the Thistles and Biscuits Gentle Forest Alphabet Study, which has components that are easy for her, but a little bit of a challenge for my almost 3-year-old. And then also just some vocabulary and alliteration and things like that for Gia. So it's just kind of like a different approach to going through the alphabet and looking at words that begin with each letter of the alphabet and looking at alliteration. And so I initially got it for my almost 3-year-old, but I love how I can kind of pull them in together and do some things with them together at their particular level. So I say all that to say we are doing other things to support her reading and language arts knowledge and skills. However, I will assess when we're done with At the Pond and see if I feel like we should jump right into this. I'm also considering really taking some time to go through and review the concepts that she learned in At the Pond, like making sure that she's mastered all of the sight words and all of the consonant blends and all of those things and all of the math concepts before we move on. So I'll reassess at that point and see if it would benefit her to jump right in, or if I think we'd be okay to wait a little bit and kind of fill in the blanks with some of the other things that we're using. So I will keep you guys posted. If you like this video, please click the like button. It's a simple way to support my little channel here on YouTube. I'm so excited and want to just thank all of you that have been following me, or even if you're a new subscriber, that I have hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's a huge milestone for me, and I'm super excited that you guys just continue to support and tune in and build this rooted homeschool community. As always, if you're new here, introduce yourself in the comments below. I truly love connecting with you guys. That is why I'm here, and that is the point. So if you have questions, any more questions about the Ready to Read program at all, or specifically this book 3 unit, let me know. I'd be happy to answer those things for you. Any other questions, let me know down below. If you are doing Ready to Read book 3 or you have done it with your child, I'm interested to hear some feedback from you. If you're not following me over on Instagram, definitely follow me there at rooted_homeschool. I provide daily updates over there for what we're doing in our homeschool and in our life. I would love to connect with you over there as well. If you are not subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe. Click that notifications bell so that you know when we have a new video coming out. I can tell you I have some fun and exciting things coming up for you next week and throughout the rest of the summer. So I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.